It's a Windows issues, improv, no script, no rehearsal, no plan. Bring your Windows computer troubles for the crew to blow smoke or ideas your way. Amp up your problem solving skills with us.
Good morning. It's 11 a.m. and some number of seconds. Past the hour, past the minute. On Saturday, August 17th, 2024. All right, so I'm going to ask this question right off the bat because I look over here and it just bothers me. It looks like there's like a gray haze over my camera lens. I don't know. Does anybody else get that impression? Oh, what are you doing with Timmy Mouse? Stop being such a mouse. That's a new thing. We know what such a Doug is. This is such a mouse. All right, I'll take that off screen while I try to fix that zoom level. Good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you. That was 500%. If I put a little bit of pressure on my scroll wheel while I'm scrolling up and down, it just does that. I need to turn off the zoom function on my scroll wheel. Yeah, so there's some confusion going on with the trailer I see in chat.
Official Tim Tech said, "Good golly, Miss Molly."
Yeah, this was 8:51 p.m. last night when Ken said, "What? No trailer again?" I had not yet configured the trailer. So for those of you who are saying, "What's the matter, Ken?" I see the trailer. Darren Gilholm also last night. So hello. Yeah, 6:44 a.m. this morning I added the trailer. I called it a rerun. And that was somebody else said, "Hey, I've never seen that before." Well, the original appearance of that was yesterday. And since I did that, I put that trailer on again since I actually have a topic that's related to that. Hello, Alice. Hello, Carl. Hello, Mr. TPC Life Story.
LJ said, "I saw the trailer."
Yeah, I think anybody who came in after Ken Stout. See, I just had it turned off for Ken Stout. Z-Manor, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not sure if that was a reference to the trailer or something else. INFL. Oh, I never NFL. No, I don't see how that is. This is an explanation of what he means by NFL. National Football League. Hello, Selden Ball. Rick Lakes. Arnold Albert. I mean, intro. Yeah, you said you'd never seen the intro. It was on Friday. Chris Garrett saw the trailer. Sometimes.
Ken Stout. Liv said, seems to me that if you added the trailer after my statement is factual.
Yeah, your statement was factual at that time. I didn't argue that. Ryan Lightfoot, sometimes I wake up grumpy. Other times I let her sleep. Another session of Stump the Doug. He'll never get this one. PA Walk RK. Personal assistant walk.
John Williams said, "Hello, Doug."
Hello, John. You'll never get this one. PA Walk RK. It's got to be that PA and RK stands for something.
ZV-Manor said, "Obviously, a response to trailer."
If it's not broke, don't fix it. I get it. I get it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And so since we broke the hard drives, now we should fix it, right? So that's what you're saying. Since we broke the hard drives, now we should fix them. Well, this is just annoying having that extra chat in the background. How am I going to fix that? Oh, it was actually the show display in the background. Where am I? Yeah, PA Walk RK. All right. So no, I don't get that, but let's go find out.
John Williams said, hello, Jonathan.
John Williams to Jonathan. All right, got it.
Chris Garrett said, I really want to see you fix the drives that took the drill.
Okay, well, that's one of the topics today. We can do some things with those drives. I didn't say I was going to fix it. PA, Walk RK, Dingbats. Dingbats is a creative word trivia game developed by Peter Rutherford.
Brian Lightfoot said a walk in the park.
Walk in the park. The word walk is inside the letters PA and RK, which together mean walk in the park. Oh, okay. Oh, walk is inside of park. So walk in the park. I get it. I get it. But that was a stump. You stumped
Brian
me.
Lightfoot said I win.
Yep, you win, Brian. That gets you 7.5 points. What? Only 7.5 points? That's so low compared to everything else.
Chris Garrett said Dingbat is what Archie Bunker called his wife Edith.
Yeah. Yeah, yep, I remember that. DougBetts. We're going to skip over all the DougBetts because he doesn't matter. Chris has thunderstorms. Oh, it's jumping around on me. Bobby Warren says, hey, Doug, the internet issue is fixed with my twin sister. Great. That was where we were saying, just go ahead and pay the money to have the cable outlet installed. Is that what she did? Gray Haze. Quit smoking them funny. My video, see, when I'm over here, focus on my, like right on my forehead, and watch what happens when I come over this way. It kind of washes out right around there. And I already tried to clean the lens on the camera, and even more so out there. When I come over here, my forehead's a different color.
Svi Manor said, does speak only English Eshba TVB.
Oh, wow. He just tried, that's Hebrew, right? And that was, she said something for those symbols. Come on, this mouse thing is driving me freaking batty. So then translate that. Good week. That's what he said there. Good week. So it did not translate.
Svi Manor said spoke gibberish.
Yeah, it spoke gibberish. I can go back and see and replay what she said. I go to video files. This is all about making computers do what you want them to do. So this is justified. TTS audio files. And then are these, oh yeah, this folder is apparently optimized for media files. So I'm going to go try to change that.
Chris Garrett said Eshdavel TVB.
I'm going to change that, customize that. That folder is customized for music. I want it general so that I can see date and time. See if that fixed it. Yeah, so now I get to see date and time. I can sort by date and try to get back to Svi Manor's. I know it was female. Maybe it was 2 things ago. There's 1, 2, 3. This one should be Zvi's. Oh.
John Williams said, want my computer to pick the winning lotto numbers? LOL.
Yeah, it would be that artificial intelligence won't do that. You have to have genuine, real intelligence, I think. That's surprising that that won't play that as an audio file. Do I need to open with VLC Media Player to get that to play?
Svimener said does speak only English Eshbavi TVB.
Yeah, try that again.
Svimener said does speak only English Eshbavi TVB.
Yeah, there we go. See, somebody watching this video might have realized, oh, you can change what a folder is optimized for, and you can right click and choose open with. So this isn't squirrel. This is valid content for live Windows training. We're training Windows. Oh, is there anybody in Zoom? Oh, sorry, I haven't checked for a while. Here we go. We're going to bring in some Zoom people. Let me turn my microphone on first so that they can mute their YouTube audio. Can you two give me a thumbs up when you've muted your YouTube audio? All right, good. Those are good. Now they can see what I'm broadcasting, and I'll bring them in. Whoop, yep, now I got to go hit some buttons. Where is that screen? Turn off that one and turn on 2 rows, 2 columns, and move Bobby over to the top right. There they go. Hello, Bobby Warren. Do you have can you talk? I don't hear you.
Ran Israel said, what sort of encoding is that VLC can decode and Windows can't?
Well, hang on, I see what's wrong. I need to change to zips. All right, let's try that again. Hello, Bobby.
Hello, Doug. Can I share my screen? The technician came to my twin sister's house and she told me something pretty weird. What happened with her internet situation?
You okay? I think you can do that now. Yeah, there we go.
I can't share my screen. I can't.
Oh, you can't? All right, let me try something else. Oh, you know what? I think I shared my screen. I tried to enable it for you. Try it again.
I say sharing screen to host isn't allowed multiple participants at the same time.
Okay, did you try it again after I turned off my screen share?
Still same thing. Sharing is not turned on.
Well, I'll show my monitor.
I get this.
Here. See, I have check mark. 1 participant can share at a time. That is selected. And I've had this weird thing happen before where I started clicking around and finally it just started working.
Good gracious.
I heard that, Chris.
I'm looking at the radar, our local radar. I'm sorry.
Host tools. Let's try. Allow. Here it is. Here it is. Allow participants to share. So I got to remember, it's on host tools. Turn that on. Even though over here it says 1 participant can share at a time. It's lying to me.
Live said host only.
Okay.
Ron Israel said change permission from host to all participants.
Open system preferences.
Well, the key is you didn't tell me to use host tools. It's on host tools. Now, I'm using Zoom Root Workplace, which might be different than what most of you are using, because it did an upgrade on me somehow. All right, try it again, Bobby.
Stout Live said at Ran Israel, yes, that is
I'm
the
going
issue.
to work on something on my computer pretty quick. Like doing the loud stuff. This is what we found out when the technician came today. It was covered, Doug.
Oh. Oh, that's weird.
Yes, it's weird.
Ron Israel said.
What's that blue part on that coax cable coming out?
Oh. Yeah, so they were saying that there is no coax connection, but there was this wall panel, this panel that was a solid panel. You can see it on the floor, on the ground, and it doesn't have a hole in it. So this wire was stuck inside the wall. So did you have to pay them the fee to come out and do this?
No, it's a trouble call.
Oh, it's a trouble call rather than what? Activation.
We still have to do the activation fee. It's $30, and then they have to do the check self-install rescue. It's free.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Well, that was interesting. So that was if anybody around here had thought of it, we could have told you to look for a covered panel somewhere that doesn't have a something in it like that one
Heck
was.
said the apartment maintenance maybe covered it up or something.
Yeah, it could be. So for Ken Stout, I just did an adjustment to the Zoom window that has to do with aspect ratio. I made the window less narrower in order to get it to show up correctly over here. When I make that Zoom window wider, then things don't match up correctly. And I think that's the thing that Ken has happening with his clocks. And when I'm making the Zoom window narrower, and for you on YouTube, you think the window's getting bigger, and it's getting to the same size as my fake picture that covers my broadcast window. And people who haven't been on my Zoom session don't understand what that is. So let's see. If I just turn off the picture that I have over my frame, the people that are in the Zoom session can see what I'm broadcasting in Zoom, because that top left panel is what I'm broadcasting. So if I stick my picture over that, then the people watching on YouTube can actually see me, but the people in Zoom are still seeing the whole Zoom panel inside my frame. But when I go to show other screens, they actually get to see what I'm broadcasting live. Okay, so that was Bobby's story. Let's move on and say hello to the next person on the panel list is Alex Cheek. Hello, Alex. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I have
Okay.
my dog's around here, so I have to keep myself muted if I'm not actually talking.
I appreciate that. So hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Did you have any topics to bring?
One really quick. I just wanted to know what your experience is and your experiences are with VR, like VR headsets. Since I know we've been talking about it on Ken's, and he says that you've been using it.
Yeah, this is my VR headset, and some of my trailers show me playing Beat Saber, and that's the only thing that I've done with it is Beat Saber. I've looked at other things. I've tried going into other things, and I just found them not interesting at all. And something that I found is there's these, I'll call it a lobby area. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to call it, but there's a place that you can get into where there's other people, and they are troll kids. They are just nothing but foul language and messing with people and just totally unfriendly territory. So that was not a pleasant experience. Did I answer your question?
Yes, but I will say that when I went to camp 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had a couple of VR headsets, a couple of those MetaQuest 2 VR headsets.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of like try before you buy a free trial, and I watched a lot of YouTube on it. It's really cool watching YouTube in 180 or 360, depending on how the person makes the video, but there's not a whole lot of content out there that's 360 that I've found.
Yeah.
I found that like the first little tutorial game that comes with the VR headset, I don't think it works when you're sitting down I think there's some games that expect you to be standing up and not sitting down, but so they may not work if you use a wheelchair like me. But the games like the roller coasters and all of that, they work as intended.
All right. And moving along, hello, Chris Garrett.
Hello.
Do you have anything to bring?
I don't.
Okay, then let's move on. And I'm going to go bring up the topics that are in today's stuff, and maybe a couple of them that Ken Stout, I think, would be interested in. Is this it?
Who is Ken Stout?
Yeah, I'm not going to explain that to you. Let's see. Lessons from last week's suspected scam victim's computer, because I have not really talked about that. And that would be those were worth talking about.
Ken Stout Live said yes. Who is Ken Stout? Asking for a friend.
He's been banned from just about every YouTube channel I know. Or should be. The lessons that anybody that's providing either amateur tech support or paid tech support, lessons along those lines, what would have been a better way to approach that. Now, that was not approached really very well because it only became available half an hour before showtime. But my conversation, the interview with the client, was very abbreviated, and that's what really threw things out of whack. If I had had a normal interview with a client, then that wouldn't have gone the direction it had, because basically I pursued it under the preconceived notion that she had fallen victim to a scam, and she didn't. It was actually legitimate Microsoft support. But it was still an interesting thing to go through, I thought, for last week. So anyway, if we want to talk about those lessons, that's one thing on today's list. Results from Windows automated tasks for validating backup schedule. We asked last week for ChatGPT to give us a batch file command for that, and I have implemented that. Disassemble drilled and crushed hard drives. A story about how I messed up with a client's Windows XP updates deferral. TAK is just to remind me who that client is. I'm not going to actually identify what that is. Sounds like somebody is trying to interrupt me. Please don't. Let me get through this list. Email aliases, MS Microsoft 365, another Microsoft useless feature, the reply as anomaly. Tim Sowell asked a question last night on the Ken Stout show. He asked it towards Ken and towards me. He says, I don't get ads on YouTube free, and I want them. Now, I'm paraphrasing him, right? He said, I don't get ads. And I'm saying the tone of his voice, I'm choosing to interpret that he actually wants those ads. But anyway, I have some information on that. If we go down that route. Apply uBlock origin scripts to that's been on there forever. Client story of transitioning server backup methodology. I talked about a little bit about that last week. This one I think Ken Stout might be interested in, about ad breaks, and some more information about what you can glean from the YouTube analytics on that. I noticed some interesting things on that. Then problem with the 2 GB PDF file, unable to save to a different folder. QuickBooks Pro desktop complications with password changes regarding payroll complication. Yeah, but what takes priority, absolute priority, is questions in the chat room, even if we don't get to any of my listed topics. So coming back to scan through the chat room, see if there's anything there. What sort of encoding is it that VLC can decode and Windows can't? Now, this is something there are a number of technicians who routinely install VLC and make it the default media. And I've kind of bounced back and forth. And I don't think VLC is currently my default. But that came along, I think, with Windows 10, where Windows 10 was not able to play some video files. But I'm going to try this with VLC because I think even VLC does not do MOV files or some MOV files. I think that's what it is. Go ahead.
It originally started, I think, with a lot of people installing VLC when Windows 8.0, the original Windows 8 and 8.1 came out. And that's because Microsoft took away the ability to play DVDs or DVD files inside of Windows Media Player. So people started putting VLC to be able to play DVDs.
Yeah. When I make the video content that uses when we take out the background, when I do that with After Effects, that has to be saved in an Apple format with an MOV extension, and I cannot open that into any video player under Windows 11, including VLC. It won't play. I can import it into OBS as a source, and I can play it within Adobe Premiere Pro. But Windows will not play it, not even with VLC. Now, I think it's only some MOV files. Maybe it's only ones that have alpha content, which means taking out the background. So I'm not really thrilled with VLC because it doesn't do it all for me. Now, I was just looking at some MOV files here to demonstrate that, but then I thought better of it because I don't know what those actually are. They might be something that I don't want to play on my live stream. I can tell somebody was trying to chime in. Was that you, Alex?
I was just going to say that I know it may have something to do with this new format Apple has, like HEIC or HEVC or something. Apple has this new format that completely doesn't work for like pictures and videos on the iPhones. It completely doesn't work for Windows. So the only way what you have to do then is I get people's pictures from their iPhones to like make slideshows or whatnot. I have to convert them to JPEGs or MP4s or something that I can.
I have an easier solution to that, and I don't think that's the same thing as this MOV issue, but it's a similar concept since it is coming from Apple. But yeah, natively Apple stores as HEIC. When you go to their website, and I don't remember quite which method it is, but there's a couple different ways that you can download the files from like iCloud.
Ken Stout Live said, "Is this a new thing, Alex? I never have issues from the iPhone to Windows."
All right, we're not going to respond to that. And if you download it, like if you download multiple of them, they come down to your Windows computer in a zip file. Then you extract them, and I find that they come as MP4s rather than as HEIC. So I know that I'm pretty quick and easy to accomplish it, but I understand what you're saying about the HEIC, and I don't know, maybe it's when you take it straight from the Apple iPhone and transfer it like through a USB cable or some other method. I'm not sure what the method is.
The people I'm referring to, they were sending me the files in email, and so I would have to then download the attachments on email and then figure out how to convert them so I could put them in PowerPoint or whatever to be able to.
Yeah, if they send them to you as an attachment, HEIC, then you're stuck. You have to convert it. Yeah, that rings a bell of familiarity when you said that. Okay, so again, that's not a squirrel. That wasn't a planned topic, but valid topic for this channel. Doug, why are you pointing that out so much? Well, I'm trying to defend myself for bouncing from one thing to another. Change permission. Yeah, we did that. Now, I don't want to, I have intent. All right. My Zoom mute button didn't work. Try that again manually. Yeah, that's easy. Okay. I briefly muted Zoom. I intentionally, by default, leave screen share for participants off until I turn it on. But when I get this upgrade to this Zoom workplace, they change where everything's located. Greg Guy, good morning. Says I just got up having my first cup of coffee, 83 degrees here in Maryland. Nice to see you, Greg. Greg M, nice to see you. It's a cover plate. They wired the suite but never installed the jack in the box.
Read chat, please.
Or maybe, I'll get right to that. Maybe it used to be installed for the resident, but then they covered it up because the next resident wasn't going to have it.
Read chat, please.
I'm coming.
Whatever it is, they did a better job at it than what I got it in my house, because I just got we just drilled a hole through the wall for from the other room to run a Ethernet cable from my mom's computer.
Okay, I see the volume low. Zoom volume was good. Now I'm turning up. Wow, I just slid up the volume for my microphone. It still looks low. I'm thinking this is voice mod messing with me. And input, no, that's all the way up. I recognize that the volume is low when I'm standing here at my normal spot. It is showing low. Where is that happening? I'm going to go look at Zoom audio. Microphone showing low there, but that shouldn't affect YouTube or OBS, YouTube. Does it or not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, that makes no difference. YouTube. That I can tell by judging by OBS. Brian says reinsert mic cable. All right.
Yeah, what you on Zoom,
This microphone should make a difference. Wow, now I'm blasting into the red. Now I'll turn this down a bit on OBS, so I'm bouncing into the yellow. Okay, so disconnect, reconnect the microphone. Then I had to go in voice mod and reselect the microphone because it forgot which microphone.
Zvi Manor said, now okay.
All right. What? What is, I don't know what you up UPN you whatever. Microphone reverbing back then. Okay, now better, you're back. Okay. So there was a couple of read chat messages that was trying to let me know that the microphone was low, and I said I'll get to that. So it would have been more useful then, not picking that you, just usually I get, when you do an exclamation mark C, I usually get to it pretty quickly, but not always. Exclamation mark D, can't hear you, volume low, something like that, because I can hear that. You know, we can't blame that on Ghetto. I have no idea where I was at.
Zivi Manor said there was.
Oh, there was an exclamation mark P for Houston, we have a problem. I don't remember that one. Did it play that and I didn't hear it? Ran Israel did an exclamation mark P. I don't remember that. No Doug, but reverb of Zoom audio. So that may have been going on for quite a while, huh? Oh, Ken has taken responsibility for it. All right. Yeah, exclamation mark P is what's really supposed to get me going, and I didn't hear that.
Ran Israel said the P didn't play back.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's go try this, because again, this is troubleshooting. Windows figuring things out. So here's where the exclamation mark P should have been at 1134. I go to then I get that. Oh, it's at the top. I go to TTS. Now I forgot the time. 1134. 1134, right here. Should have been this one. Oh, that's right. I got to do. Okay, so now here's the next step. Go if you're having to go choose which product you want to open into. Well, we can go to choose another app, and then make. See, right now Windows Media Player is the default, and it can't play the MP3. So if I click on VLC Media Player and make that always, it'll make that the
Zivi Manor
default.
said now okay.
Oh.
Zivi Manor said now okay.
Now okay. So that was not the problem. Go back to here. This one was a wave rather than an MP3. This would have been, why is that a wave? See, wave won't play.
Said squirrel.
Wave, this is not squirrel. This is Windows training. This is valid content for Windows 5 training, live Windows training, whatever the name of that silly channel
Also,
is.
Doug, it may have something to do with the fact that that's the new Windows Media Player, not the old classic one.
All right. So why won't Wave play in VLC? Seems like it ought to. Will it play in Windows Media Player? No. Here's Legacy. Windows Media Player Legacy.
Read chat, please.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a problem with the new version, crappy version of Media Player they put out.
Yeah. And VLC won't play that, but the legacy
Ran Israel said
Windows will.
interesting. I recommend using Media Info to see the file details.
Okay. Media info. All right. I'm going to mute once more. Okay. Both unmuted. Oh, and my microphone survived. I didn't lose volume. Now, what was this one? Right click here, open with legacy.
Read chat please.
Okay, so it's interesting that read chat please comes in as waves, whereas the others come in as MP3s. Oh, I see. It's a 0. When SpeakerBot is using the Microsoft voices, they come out as waves. When SpeakerBot is using the other voices that I paid for, then it's doing them as MP3s. That makes sense. Now, this one, Sarah, I should be able to just
Ken
double
Stout
click.
Live said, "Is this a new thing, Alex? I never have issues from the iPhone to Windows."
That one was before the microphone trouble. So I don't see the SpeakerBot for the microphone trouble. Okay. I'm going to come over here to StreamerBot, maximize that so you don't get confused with Zoom in the background. Action history. Here's chat messages. And we don't see problem. These are sorted, completed at, these are sorted in reverse time order. And if I go over here to actions, look at problem. Where?
Manor said testing.
I don't see problem. Exclamation mark P. It doesn't exist. Oh, here it is. This interrupt, P, exclamation mark problem or P. Here it is. This one. Okay, so it's enabled.
Manor said, P not working.
It shows enabled here. And the sub action, Houston, we have a problem. Voice alias default. That sounds like it should work. What else do I have using the problem? Using the default voice. Here, negative. Does exclamation mark N work? I'm trying that now.
No way.
Yeah. So this SpeakerBot default works. If I right click and copy that sub action, then go back to this one called interrupt. This shows that it uses the command exclamation mark problem or exclamation mark P. And I'm going to right click down here and choose paste sub action to compare these two. Default, no way. Default, Houston, we have a problem. That should work. Now, if we try it, it should do both of those. I'm doing an exclamation mark P here in OBS and then send that.
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh.
No way.
All right. Exclamation mark P worked for me. Now I'll disable that one. So then somebody in chat, try exclamation mark P. This is troubleshooting. This is valid content for my channel. Oh, it's not, it didn't work for you. Oh, I think I know what might be the problem. Let's see if I have that restricted to certain level. If I double click here, it's available for moderators, subscribers, VIPs, check mark for YouTube message. Global cooldown and user cooldown, 120 seconds. Ignore the bot account. Ignore internal messages. Persist. What is all those check marks doing to me? The last three, I think the normal thing is to have the first two check marks, not the last three. So let's try changing that. Persist per user counter, persist counter. Now there's that 120 second cooldown. So that's probably messing us up now. Let's get rid of that. I don't want a cooldown for that. We should let multiple people do that. All right. Try it again. It'll show up here in pending actions when they first come in. There's Greg M. They're not coming in. All right, I'm going to try it in OBS.
Houston, we have a problem.
It works when I do it from OBS. Here's these are the two that I did. Yes, this is valid content for my channel. However, troubleshooting my problems, that's not real good. All right, so now I'm trying it from the actual chat room.
Svimana said, Houston, we have a problem.
you cheater. Yeah, you made it work. Find
Houston,
a workaround.
We have a problem.
So I can do it from there. And Jim does a Victor. Vanishing. What is the problem? What is the problem? There's Jim's vanish. Okay, so, somebody in chat, try it with exclamation mark problem. Spell the whole word out. Immediate, YouTube, all of those. See, these are all in the available column. And this is the allowed column, or it looks like you might think that nobody's allowed. But that just means if I put anybody in the allowed column, then everybody else is disallowed. So having everybody on the available side means everybody who participates can do SpeakerBot. Grant, allow all or only those. Yeah, that's what that is saying. Allows everybody or only the ones that I put into allowed. Enabled, include. Name. Oh, I'm looking at yes right now. This should be named problem, not interrupt. But that's not going to change
Yes,
the functionality.
affirmative.
If I drop out, it's because of the weather. But I'm
all right.
Be too soon. Did that go through YouTube? That loud thunder?
Chris, are you talking to me?
Yeah, did you hear that loud boom?
I did not hear a loud boom.
That was thunder.
Oh. Yeah, you probably have background noises filtered on Zoom. Well, I think maybe I need to step away from that. And I can't even test that. Well, I could test it by signing Baby Beast into a different YouTube account. All right, coming back to chat. You know what? There's so much conversation on these topics. If there's something that that if anybody's actually asking a question that we can address as a group, let me know. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I haven't done it
Read
with a
chat, please.
headset. I haven't done it with a headset, but I've done it with a IR infrared that can tell where I'm moving my head. Way back regarding VR. Okay. Control F VR. There's only 4 of them. See, even when I do Control F, somebody watching this video somewhere is not going to already know that you can search for things in chat that way. Wintermute. Alex said, we've been discussing VR. Seems to me like it's just been him. Microsoft Flight. Oh, I had just seen that. Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator supports some VR headsets. And I'm guessing there's the Microsoft Simulator version X or 10. That was a standalone installation on your computer. And there's the Microsoft Flight Simulator that's through web browser. And that I might try doing that. I don't want to install the full program. And I don't even know if it will install on Windows 11 because that isn't, I don't think that's made anymore as a standalone program. Now there I've got that crazy border around the chat window again. Yeah, let's see what he's showing here. Flight Simulator frequently asked questions. Somebody watching this video will say, oh, that's what FACT stands for? I just thought it was facts, as in real, F-A-C-T-F. No, it stands for frequently asked questions. Ken, which models are supported? Yeah, neither of those. None of those are the one I have. Vive is the one I have. Motion controllers are not supported. Yeah, so maybe it's not going to work for me. So I think I was being redirected to this because I was asking, are there any subjects in chat that for us to talk about? I hope he talks about it during the live. Selden said yes. Oh, that's what you were trying to direct me to. VLC is still free. I got a notification from them. They were starting to charge a subscription. Has anyone seen this? Well, let's have a look here. Because that's a question. That's a valid Windows Live training question. Does this give me any place in here to pay for VLC? Check for updates, about VLC.
I think they meant Microsoft Flight Simulator, not VLC.
Oh, all right. Is VLC still free? I got a notification from them. They were starting to charge a subscription. Has anyone seen this? No, he's saying charging for VLC. I think that's pretty clear. Free and open source in Quarter, streamer made by volunteers. Uses internal codecs, works essentially every popular platform. I'm thinking if you got any kind of a message to pay for VLC, that it's either a scam or some competing product that's trying to sell you on them. It looks like it's totally free. Down, let's look at license. Public license. Everyone is permitted to copy and distribute. If they had a paid version, they certainly would have made that a parent by now. Made it a parent, or made it a child, or a nephew. Such a Doug. Life story, hello, and hope he talks about what I was out of the room. Oh, that's Ken Stout. Not to bother, not to worry your pretty little head over trying to explain to him.
It would be the parent, and the free versions would be the children.
You think the paid version would be the parent?
Yep.
All right. I think that's a parent, Chris. There's people talking about the HEIC issue. Ken Stout making a comment not worth even reading. Just kidding.
Jim KJ3N said bad Doug.
Bad Doug. Bad Doug. Trying to make a joke about a
Brian
parent.
Lightfoot said Doug made a joke.
It's a red letter day. I don't see when I plug in my phone and transfer the PC, I have no issues, but let's not discuss that. Here's where the audio went low. Has anybody requested any of my topics?
I
Go
would
ahead.
like to hear about the server backup methodology for your client.
All right. Going to that question. Client story of transitioning server backup methodology.
Jim KJ3N said, yep, number 10.
And Jim's agreeing on that one. I know that I talked a little bit about that. I don't know if it was last Saturday. I think it probably was. The law office that I've mentioned many times, about 40 users. They have the backup softwares I'm using, Magnus Box, Handy Backup, Magnus, and SAS drives, swapping SAS drives for the boot drive on those computers. So those are mirrored drives. When I swap those drives out, that gives me an offsite image backup. The Handy Backup keeps losing connection to the external drives. So I have to keep checking up on it. So I'm right now on a trial, 1-month trial subscription of Macrium Reflect Server, the server edition. Significantly more expensive, but it still is reasonable price compared to other products. And the other problem is I'm running out of space on the 2 terabyte external drives. Now for Magnus Box, I do cloud backups of both servers, but only the data files. I don't do image backups on those.
John Williams said I installed VLC on a new build and it is total free.
Yeah, with no prompt for paying for it, right, John? Exclamation mark Y to say yes to that. And now actually on Magnus Box cloud backups, I do, I think it's a once a month.
Yes, affirmative.
Thank you, John. I think it's a once a month image backup of the boot drive. Don't need it more frequently than that because it doesn't change that much. And daily data files backup for both servers. And so that's a separate charge for each of the 2 servers. Those backups are time consuming to restore from because I have to configure the restore. I have to have Magnus Box running on the machine that I'm trying to restore to. So if we have a crash, it's going to take time to get those files back. So that's why I want the local external backups. So Magnus Box does its cloud backup. Also, Magnus Box does a backup to the external drives. But even that is going to take some time to restore from. If the servers are down, it's very difficult to take those drives to another computer and recover files from the Magnus Box external backup. because I have to have Magnusbox software to do that. So the Handy Backup software does backups of the data drives, and does the backup of the data drives, and I do not compress those. So they are just native Windows copies. In the case of a server down situation or internet down situation, I can take those external drives to anybody's computers, connect them to the computer, and just through Windows, I can drag and drop those files from those folders. But that Handy Backup is not stable and consistent because it will lose connection to those external drives, even when File Explorer still has access to those drives and Magnusbox has access to those drives. So and Handy Backup was a much lower cost software. So I'm doing this 1 month trial with Macrium Reflect. And there is a way in Macrium Reflect, I think, I haven't tried this yet, to do the backup as straight file copy so that I could take those drives to another computer and do drag and drop. John Downey's asking, what software do you use for image backup? Well, the image backup is Magnusbox into the cloud, and on the, let me grab this. The servers have these SAS drives, and this one with the blue label is for the file server. The one with the yellow label is for the comm server, communication server. So the boot drives are mirrored drives. So what happens when I go swap the external drives, I just eject one of the mirrored drives and then I'll put this one in. Now the drive that I just took out, it has a valid full image of the C drive because these are mirrored drives. Each drive has the full drive. So that's what I consider to be my image backup and offsite because I have them, well, here. And here's two more, file server and comm server. And right now there is two of these drives in each of those servers. So each server has 4 of these SAS drives. They get rotated out. So even when I'm ejecting one drive and putting in the other drive, if something goes wrong and all of those get damaged, I still have an image here at my home of the boot drive. Those are set on my rack over there, right on top of the external drives that get rotated. Oh, Danielle's got a question. I think I've done, oh, okay, the other piece of that transitioning is those batch files that I created that we talked about last week, and we used ChatGPT to create that. And I created those as batch files and verified that they're working. So every day it adds a new text file in a particular folder. So that way I know where I can go to check to see that a particular full backup or differential backup or incremental backup has the correct files that I expect. Now, I have Handy Backup still making the full data backups, and the Macrium Reflect trial period, I'm only backing up that folder that contains these batch file created files. So it has a very tiny backup because I don't have enough space on those external drives to have Handy Backup doing its full backups and Macrium Reflect doing its backups. So the point is here is I want to see when Handy Backup fails, when it loses connection to one of those external drives, does Macrium Reflect still have connection to those drives, and are those backups still working? And those trial backup are those backups of the test folder is sending me emails every day telling me whether they are successful or failed. And I'm a little overdue to go back and evaluate how those are going. So that is the rundown of that backup strategy. And the transitioning element has to do with, am I going to dump Handy Backup and switch over to Macroom Reflect? And am I going to have Macroom Reflect do that as non-compressed files so I can do drag and drop? Danielle has a question in here. Anyone have experience with Microsoft Surface Pro tablets? Yes, I bought one of the earliest tablets that they had. Remembering the last time Microsoft used Qualcomm and Windows RT. I'm trying to remember what that stands for. I think I have some reluctance to get the latest Surface Pro 11. Loved my Windows Phone. Danielle, I had a Windows Phone. When the Windows phones came out, I bought one pretty quickly. My next phone after that was not a Windows Phone. Yeah, I can't say that I loved it. I don't have, do I have recent experience? Seems like somebody did recently, one of my clients recently did buy one of those. And if so, it's not rememberable. So that means they didn't have trouble with it. Do you have specific concerns about it? Reluctance to get the latest Surface Pro 11. I think mine was like 2, 3, or 4. I don't remember what the number was. Let's see if Daniel's got anything more. No. Ran Israel to Danielle. As far as I remember, regular Surface were based on ARM, Windows RT, Surface Pro was x64 with regular Windows. Now I still have my Surface Pro, and I could bring it on to the show. I don't quite remember where I have it anymore. And it has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and it currently has Windows 10. It was not Windows 10 when I originally bought it, before Windows 10. I think it came with Windows 7, I'm going to say. And it actually
Probably
works.
8.0.
Say again?
I say probably 8.0. I don't think any of them shipped with 7.
You know what? I think you're right. I think it came with Windows 8, and I think I downgraded to Windows 7. That might have been the sequence. I can't swear to it. Or maybe it was even XP. Because XP was after 8, right?
No.
No?
XP was
XP
way
was
before
way
8.
before 8.
Way before. I can't keep those straight. Oh, hello, Jim. He's waving. That's why I couldn't hear him reply. I gotta go fix Zoom. There. So now Bobby's in his rightful place and can be seen.
Yeah. XP, Vista, yeesh, 7, 8, 8.1, 10, and 11.
You missed one.
In that order, I believe.
You missed one.
What did I miss?
I think maybe you missed 2. How about Windows ME and how about Windows 2000?
Not bothering with anything that came before XP because anything that came before XP was crap.
XP, I mean, ME and 2000 are basically the same thing, just 2000 is professional and ME was home. So those 2 can be lumped as one, essentially.
Can't they actually all be lumped? I'm trying to be sarcastic.
You got 95 first and second edition, and then 98. Or I think it might have been 98 first and second edition. I don't remember.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys probably just clarified where ME in 2000 fit into all that. And I'll have to confess, that just went in one
Uvi
ear.
Manor said me was 98.
Went in one ear and out the other, because I really don't care.
No, neither should anybody else at this point.
Yeah. So for anyone who's wondering, I just paged through all of those chat room messages so that I can review them if I so choose after the show, because they're not accessible until YouTube finishes processing the video for about 20 hours. Okay.
I think I've got a couple people at church. I think I've got at least one person that says he still runs Windows 7. Makes me cringe.
Oh,
So
I
go
came
to church with.
I came across one of my clients this last week, wanted me to do a fix on one of their computers, and it was Windows 7.
That's an automatic no.
I've already advised them of their risk, and they're choosing to go without, and I'm just not interested in stressing over it. So I don't have any contracts with any of my clients for this very reason. And I've proven this valid in court. I have had a judge affirm my point of view that I have not made any assurances to my clients. I am what do they call it? Fee for services rendered. My invoices have very specific information about what I did, what I charged for that time. I do not charge a monthly amount to protect my clients, because that's not possible in today's environment.
No.
So that's why I don't sweat it too much when a client opts to stay with an old operating system. I tell them, and it's on them.
Yeah,
And
that's the advantage of only doing repair work as far as I'm concerned, because I can refuse. I can flat out refuse. No, I'm not touching this.
Eventually, one day they'll come across, they'll need a new printer or they'll need a new something, and they'll buy it and it won't work with their 7, and they won't have any choice but to upgrade to.
And that's exactly what happens. We get to a point where something just will not work, and that's when they say, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, I've got a response to Long Dog. Long Dog, how many normals do you know who know what the hell they're doing?
Well, I'll go see what he's. Get to something at the end here.
In my experience, most people don't even know what version of Windows they're running.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah. And even I've it's not surprising when I have to come across somebody where I have to explain to them what I mean when I say the Windows button, and I've even within the last month had to explain to somebody what the enter key is, where the enter key is. They know that they're hitting the key, of course, but not all keyboards have the word enter on that key. And for people who, aren't old enough to know what a typewriter is, it is, there are people out there who don't understand the word enter key.
What about the any key?
Yes. Yes. My mother was exactly that. She was reading some instructions. This was like, 40 years ago. And she was fessing up to me, or she was reading the instructions and or hearing the instructions. She was being told to press any key, and she's trying to look on her keyboard to find which one is the any key. You press the N key and then the E key for NE key.
Doug make bad joke.
That's all Doug can do. It's that you know what I marvel at people like Brian Lightfoot that can just or Mitch that can just come off the top with a decent joke. I can't remember them for 5 minutes.
They could have just said instead of any, they could have just said press A key, and then then people would have known to press the letter A, and it would have worked anyway. So
Now, what any self-respecting Doug would do is say, press any of the keys on your keyboard. I'll use more words to make it clear. I got no idea where I'm turning now. Now, okay, so that we talked about a topic that was requested. Oh, it's Zvi showing us here. Wikimedia. This is not Wikipedia. This is Wikimedia. Oh. All right. Well done, Zvi. Showing us an any key.
Had a request a while back for orders 3, 6, and 5. Not sure what those were.
Okay, that wasn't from you. That was you saw that from somebody else.
Yeah, Arnold somebody.
3, 6, and 5. 3, 6, and 5. Okay. 3, 6, and 5. Windows automated tasks for validating backup schedule. I already did talk about that a bit, mixed in with the other backup strategy thing. 6 and 5. Yeah, how I messed up with the client's Windows updates deferral. This happened just yesterday. Not a long story, so I'll give you this one. I have a different attorney's office. I have several attorney offices. The senior attorney in this office, well, I'm calling her the senior attorney. She's my daughter's age, and the actual founding attorney is kind of semi-retired, but she's not doing much with the business anymore. But anyway, she is a real go-getter. She is burning the candle at both ends. She never closed down what she has open. They stay open overnight. I don't put stress on her over that, but we need to do updates once a month. So with her and the dedicated peer-to-peer server in their office, I connect remotely and do a reboot to install updates on those two computers. I don't do that to the other computers in the office because those people will close down their programs, and if their computer gets rebooted during work hours, it's not nearly as much of a crisis as it is for the attorney that is now really running the show. So in order to make her life easier, which is something that I do, I consider myself not just a full service computer technician, but a convenience store computer technicians, meaning I make it as convenient as possible for my clients. So if I see something that's going to stress them out, I safeguard them from that and let them know that I'm doing it. So what I do is I contacted her by, I don't know, text message or email. Told her, okay, this is the weekend that I need to restart your computer. So let me know when I can do that. She replied by email saying, I've got several major projects going on. I'm working through the weekend. I'll let you know when I can shut the stuff down. And I could tell that she was stressed. So I sent back a message saying, hey, I can postpone that to next weekend if this is a really bad weekend for you. I said, yes. She said, yes, please. So I said, okay, I need to connect shortly to your computer. And I was planning to defer the updates another week, because you can do that. However, there's a maximum amount of time that you can postpone the updates for. The place that I messed up is that for the last few months, when I connect to those two computers, perform the updates, I have been routinely, immediately deferring updates for 5 weeks for the weekend after the next update Tuesday. So when I connected to her computer to defer another week, I realized, oh, I can't. All it would let me do is extend one more day because I had extended to Saturday. So all I could do is extend to Sunday. So I had to contact her back and let her know, hey, I'm sorry, I did this wrong this month, but I'll fix it for next month so we can have better flexibility. We're gonna have to have you exit all the programs so that I can restart and install the updates. Now, she could restart herself, but I don't want her to do that because if something goes wrong with it, I don't want her having to face that. It is worth her paying me to just do that, what should be a routine restart, make sure it works right. In this month, Sunday, instead of deferring 5 weeks, what I have done is I've created myself a calendar reminder so that at the beginning of next update Tuesday week, like on Sunday or Monday, or even the week before, I'll defer the updates to the Saturday following the Tuesday. Then when that weekend comes, if she's too busy and wants it deferred, I'll be able to defer it to the even next month, multiple weeks. We'll defer it 1 week and try to do it that weekend. If she can't do it that weekend, we'll defer it to the next weekend. Now, each of these communications, each of these email communications with her or phone call or text message, that's a billable time charge. Yeah, it's not much time, but it's documenting the level of convenience store service that I'm providing. That's just how I do my business. When she goes to a law conference and or interacting with other attorneys, she's in the courtroom, and you know that they've got to be talking something about their tech support between law offices. And I'm absolutely certain I'm giving a much higher level of convenience to these attorneys who are making, what are they, $300, $400, $500, $600 an hour that they are billing to their clients. So my bills are just, they are very, very affordable. So doing these little pieces of extra work for them and documenting it, it is the strategy that I use in my business. And it has kept me some long-term clients who never, ever, ever, ever question my bills on any level.
Do you record your phone calls or your Zoom meetings as well with your clients? Or
I do, but not for the purpose of proving anything, only for the purpose of, in case I'm not sure what they told me, how they answered a question, because already my memory span. Although I'm better at remembering what my clients tell me than what happens through YouTube. But yeah, I record them, but I don't make those public, of course, and it's not to prove anything because I never get questioned. It's only to remind myself what I did, and I always record my remote sessions without the client, when I connect remotely to their computers and doing things, because I never know when something will go wrong. So sometimes I go back and look at the video to figure out what happened when something went wrong, or did I actually do that piece that I needed to remember to do. Does that answer your question, Alex?
yes.
All right.
Yeah,
it was a good question. Thank you. Number 5, disassemble drilled and crushed hard drives. So here's one that I happen to have right here out of the box. I got a box half full of these drives. And if I go to the unboxing cam, and let's see, here. Now, something that we noticed, one of the drives that we did through the crushing, the press, one of them definitely shattered because all the shavings went down to the ground. But then others just seem to be bending. Now, I have already loosened some of these because some of these were just too tight for this little driver. This is a Torx 8. Now I see this one that started unscrewing is having a hard time. So I'll switch the bit over to this
Read
Crescent
chat,
brand.
please.
You're looking at chat through OBS, not UBS. Let's see, it's got a link to 11 forum. And I figured some of these one, oh, this one doesn't matter because it's not even secured to the base. All right, I'm gonna go take a look at that link. Ran Israel. Change maximum days to pause Windows 11 update in Windows 11. Now they have Windows 10 in that office so far. Reg file download will pause update until 10/31/2033. Yikes. All right. Wow. I would expect that would work for Windows 10. Update policy settings. Pause feature status. D-word. Windows Update. UX settings. Flight settings. How is update registry item called flight settings max pause date? So it's changing the maximum pause date. Pause feature updates. And pause quality updates. Pause update start time. Security updates are considered quality updates, right? They don't actually have the word security in there, but I think feature updates is features and quality updates is, I think, security. I think I will experiment with that. Depends if Microsoft keeps the Windows Update servers for 23H2 running 10 years
But-
from now. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
But now if you do that and go sooner to unpause the updates, it's my understanding that once you unpause updates, you can't repause the updates until after you run the updates or restart it or whatever is required.
Interesting. I'm not, I don't know that I've ever tried that, to defer updates and then, well, the only way that you unpause or stop the deferral is to actually
Chris
perform the
Garrett said at LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts, I need to go because of
Well,
weather.
there's an
It's
option
getting
inside
worse.
of Windows Update in Windows 10 and Windows 11 for pause updates. And if you click that, once you unclick it, you can't re-click it again until you actually run the updates.
All right. Well, I might test that. I was waving goodbye to Chris. Chris Garrett did a speaker bot saying he has to go. Let's see. Change that. Oh, it makes me do this. Okay. Now, back to this. That one. Yeah, this one's still attached. I figure it's possible even when I get the screws out, I still might be able to get it off. Might not be able to get it off. I think some of these have a screw on the center, the hub. This one feels like it does not. All right, here we go. Yeah, that platter's only bent. And it's a single platter drive. can see a piece of the case broken there. See right through it. So bent the heads. Yeah, I would not consider that a sufficient destruction. Oh, I remember I had seen this through the side. I was wondering what it was. It's a filter. Here's, yeah, it's a filter because here's the air intake. And that's something that a person should be aware of if they're putting labels on hard drives that are in service. If you cover this air hole, that can cause a problem to the drive. I guess I should say I assume that. Let's see. I figured this was a little, well, maybe a third of my hard drive inventory that have accumulated over years. So the other thing I was interested in doing was taking one of these that we drilled through. There was also a couple of 1 or 2 SSDs, but I don't think that's of much interest. Yeah, this one has a screw. That doesn't look like it's, oh, that's on the, I think on the head mechanism. This one screw is too tight for that little driver that comes with an iFixit kit. I heard you, Jim, complimenting the iFixit kit on your video recently.
Well, I spent a lot of time without one, and once I had to start working on a few other things besides PCs, it's come in handy.
Yeah. Well, the kit that I bought included anti-static pad and an anti-static cable to connect to my wrist. Yeah, right. Because we're believers, right?
Yeah, some of us are.
No. Oh, I did have an interesting static event though recently. Just a couple of days ago. I have this, in fact, I should tell about this now because I'm about to get rid of it or take it off. This is a power meter. I have Big Beast build plugged into this so I can see how much power it's using, which at idle is a bit under 200 watts, and under load it's around 400, even up. It pushed getting close to 500 sometimes. But anyway, I am typically wearing these sandals around the house. They're rubber. And a couple days ago, I came in here and I wanted to see how much power it was using while doing this cloud backup. I've got this cloud backup running 19 hours a day about, because I stop it for the shows, of course. And so I came up here and I just touched this to lean it back so that I could look at it, and instantly Big Beast build crashed. just went into a power reboot. I'm assuming because of wearing the rubber sandals, which is insulating, that my body had built up some static electricity relative to the static electrical state of my desk and that device. And when I touched it, there was a static discharge that I did not feel. I don't think I heard it. Big Beast Build made some noise during that time. So it very possible if there was an audible static discharge that was masked by virtue of Big Beast Build going down. So I'm deducing that that was a static charge event. Yeah. So anybody in Zoom got thoughts on that or comments? You think that's plausible?
Zvi Manor said, I
Possibly.
disassemble old or broken
Possibly.
HDD only for using the magnets.
But I find it unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big, teacher or proponent of the hazards of static electricity, but I acknowledge that it exists. I acknowledge that it is the scientific community is proven things that it can do, but our computers these days, I think, are very, very resilient against damage from it. But something happening, I mean, could there be the technology that's built into computers to protect them? We do know that like the operating system, if something goes wrong in the operating system, it will blue screen in order to protect itself. And CPUs will slow themselves down to protect themselves against heat. Power supplies, as I understand, have some protections built into them. If something bad is happening on the circuitry, they have some capability to protect the internal components of the computer. But do they protect it by virtue of shutting it down, causing a spontaneous reboot like that? I don't know, maybe. Now, Ran Israel has given us some information on that. A link. Oh, no, that's not. That was back on that was the update thing. Oh, I'm probably behind in chat. Dry climate. Yeah, that makes a difference in static electricity. Now, I do have times that I experience static electricity, particularly getting in and out of my car. That hasn't happened for quite a while. There were time periods when I get shocked every time I get into my car, or many high percentage of times. And I think that probably had to do with atmospheric conditions at the time. Maybe what kind of shoes I was wearing. I've heard people explain that stuff, but I'm just not really been a student of it too much and don't care a whole lot. But anyway, it'd be interesting to see if people come up with other comments about the likelihood that that was actually a static issue. So here, back to the unboxing camera. Because, yeah, I go off on tangent topics, but that doesn't mean I don't get back to the original thing.
Squirrel.
Uh-oh. What's going on here? Oh, yeah. I've come across this before because I have opened these before. I don't know if I can show this, but there is a plastic cover over this screw that you can feel, you can touch, you can't actually touch the screw. So I gotta get through that. I don't want to do it with my finger. That's how I tear my fingernails, and then you guys say things like, Doug, why do you have Scotch tape on your finger? So that's also Torx 8. Oh, so this is one that that Braden drilled through, or I did. I did do some of them. I just didn't put that on the trailer. So, oh, that's interesting. You see there's a reflection there in that hole. Well, that's because the disc has turned. And I can see the edge of the hole and move it back. So now you're seeing through to my desk. Again, don't pry with your fingernails, Doug. Sponsor for this segment of the show is iFixit. I can figure out how to hold it up right. Or absolutely zero contribution to my channel. So my thought, presumption, is that if you were to put this into a computer and spin it up, or even spin it up without the cover on, that's going to make it horribly out of balance and therefore prevent retrieval of any data off the rest of the disk. However, I would think somewhere down the road in the future, there could become technology that could statically read the information off of the disk, meaning not having to turn it. That doesn't exist today. But remember, 40 years ago, DNA testing did not exist. I don't know, whatever the number of years is. So is it possible that technology might advance to the point where, with the right equipment, you could read information off of that? This is also a single platter drive. There's a magnetic head on the top and the bottom of the platter. And when this thing is spinning up at our RPM, you know, what is it, 5250 RPM or 7200, whatever those numbers are?
It's usually, I think I want to say 5,000 and 7,200. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 5,400 and 7,200. That's what it is.
There you go. Yeah. When it's rotating at speed, it causes the heads to float a tiny bit up off of the surface, which is required for it to be able to read the data. And the clicking noises that you might hear with a normal type of clicking, which is not fair to call it that, is the head going back and forth. The heads. Some hard drives have multiple platters. And so each platter would have a head on the top and a head on the bottom. And then here's a pretty strong magnet. Ribbon cable. I don't know how well this will show. Yeah, that yellow gold color is a flexible ribbon cable. And then over here is a air filter. This passageway routes air through to the disk in a way that it needs in order to do what it does. It's about as much as I understand about it. Oh, there's a little piece over here, and I was trying to think, what does that little piece do? And I realized, oh, that's just the shavings from the hole. All right. Well, somebody will watch this video that's never seen the inside of a hard drive. Yeah, Lawn Dog, I don't need the magnets. I got plenty of magnets around here. This is my favorite one for magnetizing the screwdriver. And I have no idea where I got it from. Kind of looks like a roller bearing for a huge industrial equipment, except you wouldn't need that as a magnet. I don't know where that came from. But it has its home right there, connected to the bottom of that rack. Lawn Dog is saying glass composition. Well, yeah, I saw your comment about that the other day, Lawn Dog.
Geez, you're popular today.
Oh, no, actually, that was an alarm reminder too. That was an alarm reminding me to check Harry Holzman's channel and see if he has scheduled up a show. I know he did not have a show scheduled before starting today's show. Nope, he does not. Okay, so I was starting to respond. Glass composition. Hard drives are storing magnetically. To my way of thinking, glass doesn't have magnetic properties, metal does, but CDs store optically. So is it actually that CDs and DVDs are based on glass and our hard drives based on some metallic alloy? So that's what I wanted to question. When Lawn Dog was saying glass composition, he was referring to hard drives, and I'm questioning, are you sure about that? Or is that actually CDs and DVDs? Magnetic heads. Yeah, I don't understand how glass base to hard drives would be have magnetic properties. Greg M says old hard drives could have glass platters. Newer hard drives are more metal, I think. They shatter like glass. No, that doesn't quite convince me. You saw that one drive disk platter that bent and did not shatter. I have not researched it. I have not Googled it. I've done nothing towards trying to answer that. Oh, I thought I was showing this drive again. Yeah, so anywho, Ryan is saying aluminum alloy or ceramic?
Ceramic's possible.
Now ceramic is just harder for me to understand because I never thought of ceramic as being all that strong for when that thin. Lawn Dog, hard drive platters are usually made of aluminum or glass. Well, aluminum is a metal, but aluminum that doesn't have any magnetic properties, does it?
No, and it doesn't shatter when you hit it.
All right. It can either be rigid or flexible. There are a few different ways. See, Lawn Dog, I'm sorry, I do not accept you just telling me what it is. I want to see some documentation. Okay. So I don't think we've got any real authoritative answer on that yet. Brian says the platter is coated with cobalt-based alloy for the magnetic properties. Okay. What do we got here? Gary, are you coming in to give your last 5-minute list of topics?
If you want.
That kind of seems to become a pattern, doesn't it? All right, go ahead. What you got, Gary?
I won't say something snippy, but some of us don't come home right out of the way. Now you're starting earlier. I'm not home at 11 o'clock. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, right now it's 3:50 in Michigan.
Well, actually, what I was alluding to is towards the end of the show when I kind of getting close to you've commonly popped up and said, I got some things.
No, I just had one comment on your hard drive thing. I saw your intro. Actually, I saw it last night. And what a friend or neighbor, old neighbor we had, he had a factory and he had a 10,000 ton press. And we changed out the dies. He'd bring his grandkids and he'd bring a bowling ball. We'd take boxes of old hard drives that would shatter hard drives. 10,000 ton press.
Oh yeah. Well, I think these drives would have shattered maybe if we went further or had it aimed differently. And like I said, one of the first drives that we did on that press did shatter.
And then
wonder if I could find that one.
And then our local Iron Mountain, I've been there. They can do hard and they shred them, and there's like 1/8-inch slivers left.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're not reading it. But right now, there is machines that can read that platter if you take it to them.
So
I mean, we're talking.
There are
We're not.
already.
We're not talking $300 drive. We're talking $3 million.
$3 million for the equipment that does it.
Yeah, that's government people.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking it might exist at a state level, government level, or if it doesn't exist now, that it might exist someday. Let's see, here's this one. Oh yeah, here's the platter is still here. That one's not shattered.
If that was CIA data, you would shred that, melt it, acid it.
Yeah. Now these all came from clients, and they are not high value enough targets for somebody to go to that kind of expense to try to recover anything. I'm not recognizing the remnants of a shattered
Read chat,
disc.
please.
I mean, if you said that was the CIA, somebody could probably get something off of that. If you said that was those drive-in, nobody's going to try.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody just said read chat. Oh, let's see. There's B. Looking for his last. I think I've looked long enough for that. Now I'm questioning myself whether those shavings that I would thought was a platter was actually not from the platter.
And then I had
need
one
a mouse.
I had
Say
a quick
again?
one for you. I had a quick one for you for one of your. I heard it. I think it was either. It was one of the. I think one of the ladies were talking about credit cards. Thursday or Friday.
Ladies.
Thursday or Friday had charging something.
Oh, it was the tickets Singapore.
Okay. Yeah, I was just had a comment on that. As we had sent some people. Matter of fact, they actually stayed at the Hilton Hanoi Hilton in Vietnam on a business trip. And we paid for all their expenses up front, everything. But they went, gift shops, they literally used credit cards and they got bounced because it's like, why is DougBetts using a credit card in Vietnam?
Oh yeah.
So what is happening is their credit cards, I would imagine the first time she used it like, okay, because when you have your credit card stolen, they don't keep going to the same place 10 times. They try 10 different places.
Yeah.
And at that point, they probably said, oh, okay, she's trying the same place. Let it go through. Because I don't really think Chrome or Google would make a difference. Excuse me, Chrome or Edge. Brave, okay, maybe. But I think the issue was her credit card from the way she made it sound.
Well, she was stating bank information. Like she was
right.
using a You know what? I guess I interpret that as trying to do an ACH through a bank account rather than a credit card. She
Well, I think
never actually specified that.
even if she was using, let's say, a debit, I don't think she was doing a bank transfer. I think she was doing either a debit or a credit. At that point, they were still saying, especially Saigon, or excuse me, who was it? Saigon? No,
No, it was
Singapore.
Singapore.
Singapore, some of the African countries, some of the Asian countries there, we send people there on business, and they, if you don't travel a lot, they hit your credit card, or they hold your credit card. If you're,
yeah.
I mean, we've had that happen. We've had people call back, oh, we can't pay for our meal, blah, blah, blah. We took 50 people out, and it's, X amount of dollars, because they have not charged personally. It's the first time maybe a 30-year-old's went to, Hong Kong, and they're like, why is this credit, the bank, Visa is saying, why is your credit card showing up in Hong Kong automatically? Because remember, the flight, the hotel, nothing has showed up on a credit card. And all of a sudden there's a charge at a restaurant for your card number.
Alice has given us some responses to this conversation, and she says that she tried her dad's card and mom's card, and they both had issues. Alice, are your dad and mom actually living in Singapore? Because I'm thinking that's what she's implying. I think she's implying that those were local cards at that point. Oh, she says no, they weren't. So they're just different cards. Now I have clients who travel, and we know that they need to inform their bank when they're traveling out of country, so that their bank will let the charges go through.
That's the first thing I would do. Yeah, it's the first thing you should always do if you're going to be making purchases, especially if you're traveling. If you know that you're going to be traveling somewhere, you need to call your card company and say, by the way, I'm going to be going to such and such place between this date and that date. So I need to have everything go through those dates.
That's what we're saying. Yep.
Yeah, and we also do that for their cell phone providers and let them know, because they have out of country plans that they can put them on an out of country plan for the time period that they're out of country. Otherwise, the charges are sky high, and that's how we learned this, is because they did that. One of them went without calling first, and they had over $1,000 bill because they didn't call and arrange that.
That's what I was trying to say. You're right. I mean, Jim just said it, but yeah, if you travel a lot, I mean, if you're on business 3 days a week, it's not too much of an issue. Or if you pay the hotel, then they see it, the bank goes, okay, yeah, he's on a plane, blah, 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 but your credit card shows up someplace that you have not paid for. They're like, what the heck is going on?
Now, John Williams is pointing out, he even when he's in Florida, and yes, I've seen that too. If you, like for me, I'm always in Fresno doing charges. And if I suddenly do a charge in New York or wherever, that can get refused. So if I want to be sure that doesn't happen, I should call them ahead. But when you get that refusal, you can go in and place a phone call and let them know that it was you, and you can get that fixed that way. But if you don't know that has to be done, you can just be stuck out there and it's being rejected and rejected and rejected. And if you don't know that you can call your credit card company and get that resolved, then you can have a substantial problem.
Yeah, last comment on that is, some people use credit cards $550. I know people that do $100,000 a month on credit cards. Pay them off, but they don't use cash.
No, sure, get the miles and such.
Yeah, I mean, every bill.
Yeah,
I mean, I carry cash for yard sale. I do not pay anything else in cash. And I mean, I have actually bought a car on a credit card and paid it off. But I mean, they go, you can't do it. And I said, I just saw you do a $20,000 charge for rebuild engine. You can do my car. So I guess.
Yeah.
I got all the points. And what's the difference? But
the difference is they may not like it because they may not get some kind of a kickback that they might be getting if you finance it.
I never financed. Since I was 18, I have not financed with a dealer.
Yeah.
It's really, well, that's another discussion. We won't go there. But yeah, and if you travel, I mean, weekly, hourly, daily, I mean, I've been on business trips 3 times a week for the past 2 years almost. At that point, they're expected. If you start charging something in Africa tomorrow, they're going to say, Nigerian prince? No, I don't think so. But yeah, if you tell me to go there. But yeah, that's it. No biggie. So those were my 2.
Let's see. I need to acknowledge, let's see, a while back. Who was it that said how they do the platter? Yeah, Zavi Manor gave us this picture showing that he cuts them with snips. And I'm thinking that the next time I have Braden over, we may do some things here with hand tools for destroying these drives and
or take out your
some
Second
more
Amendment
video.
frustrations.
Say again?
Take out your Second Amendment rights on it.
Oh yeah, I don't have one of those though. Oh, but no, I saw something, a YouTube video, somebody using a nail gun, shooting nails through, I think they were doing it through hard drives or through some form of metal. So that could be another thing to do for getting, having some experience or some interesting experiences with destroying drives. Catherine Hauserman is here. Hello, Catherine. Good to see you.
Live from Columbia?
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
My God, it's a rare sighting.
Let's see, we got Catherine and Alice. Is Danielle here today? Yes, Danielle's here.
Danielle was here earlier.
Awesome. Awesome. Lovely to have you ladies. So happy to see you once in a while or often. Alice very often and Danielle very often. Catherine, we don't see you often enough. Around some more. But if you, I don't, whatever reasons are, happy to have you here when you're here. Okay. I think it's time to shut down. Nobody has directed my attention back to something else. There are other things that I haven't read or called out yet.
Actually, I did have a quick question on yours. Did you hear any more back? I think it was number 2. Is that the one that she talked to Microsoft?
Oh, I just know Ken Stout's going to make a question about talking about my number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Lessons from last week's suspected scam victim's computer. I have not talked about that during this show, but that deserves more time than I'm willing to give it right now. I possibly might do that as a separate video because I'd like to cover a significant number of points from that. The one thing that I did say about it during this show is that there are lessons from that pertained to that have instructional value, educational value towards amateur technicians and professional technicians for the original interview with the customer. My interview time was cut short with her because the phone call happened an hour before showtime and she brought her laptop over half an hour before showtime. So my conversation with her was limited, but that actually kind of highlights what was missing from that interview period. And if I had done a proper interview there, that experience would have gone very differently. And so I think it's worth talking about.
One quick question on that without going deep. Was it officially Microsoft you found out from her?
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm absolutely convinced it was Microsoft.
Or at least she proactively got to them. They did not get to her as
That's
we
right.
suspected. Okay, good.
And
Thank you.
And a better interview would have made that obvious. Not just apparent, but obvious. Okay, but I do think that's justifiable either for its own video or for me to talk that through in a Windows Daily show and then probably do a excerpt short from that.
Actually, I do have one quick thing, if you don't mind. It's kind of nobody cares, but everybody will talk about it. Intel did finally post their 8K, And they did post that there is a 2-year warranty on their warranty page extension on those chips, the 13th and 14th gen K chips.
Okay, now let's explain 8K for the people who don't know the term.
Oh, okay, that is a Securities and Exchange Commission. If the executives do not put that out, there is possible jail terms. I mean, it never happens, but they could. But they did make the warranty. If you read it, the warranty said, or they said, you know, we're doing a lot of changes because of, it has nothing to do with that, because of the financials. AMD lost 30% of their stock value too. If you take a look at stock, they said, we're doing this to bulk up the company. We're showing what a great company we are. And we're extending a warranty of our high-end chips because they're so great for 2 years. So if you saw that, you'd say, I'm going to go buy one of those because they're the best chips made by Intel. Then if you go to their website on the warranty page now, not just somebody posting, they have extended the warranty 2 years.
Okay.
But only for box.
No, come on, Gary.
That's
Gary,
it. Only box processors. Only boxed.
Okay.
Ziffy Manor
I'm
said
done.
extended to 5
All right.
years.
Sayonara.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. You know what? All that's in the Zoom. Please go ahead and say goodbye to everybody.
Good night, Gracie.
Shalom.
And you're out. And I'm going to respond to this one other thing. Catherine's saying never open a hard drive while still in warranty. Alice asked what happened. And no, she's just saying, I think she's just saying that because if you open a hard drive while it's still under warranty, that voids the warranty. So, yeah, I'm sure that's, yeah, that's especially on, chances are warranty is no longer valid. Now, these ones that I destroyed with the drill press, can I, what if some of those are under warranty still? No, not even interested. All right, let's go over here. And I got to make sure that commands are properly disabled. Although I didn't get around to Brian's email. Brian, that's gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen. Where do I go to see this? Use. Paused. Yes, it's paused. All right. That button. You can watch this video to see how to get free support through this YouTube channel. You can watch this video to see how to get paid support from me directly in private sessions, and this video to see how to turbocharge your troubleshooting and Windows experience through interacting with this channel. And this is a recent video on my channel. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.